We think of semi-occluded vocal exercises. So if I take a straw, do I have a straw? Let's pretend that this fork is a straw, okay? I'm going to pretend the fork is a straw so I can use this. So if I use this, quote, straw, hello everyone, you are watching the Beats Save the World YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk about how to warm your voice up for belting songs. Like if you're singing a song by Bruno Mars, Ariana Grande, like songs where you have high notes, but they're projected high notes. You know, they have some mixed voice. They have some force behind them, you know? How to warm up so that you can preserve your voice the best, how you can avoid your voice cracking, how you can have longevity in your life and also have enough endurance to get through the performance, okay? So when we think of vocal warm-ups, we think a lot about gentle ones, like lip trills. We think of semi-occluded vocal exercises. So if I take a straw, so if I use this, quote, straw, as a semi-occluded vocal exercise, that would be like. So that's another kind. We think of like quiet, like a. We think of all that. So those are all good, definitely. But these more gentle exercises, I find they warm you up great if you're going to be singing gently. And I think you should do them regardless of what you're going to be singing. Even if you're going to be belting, you should still start with that. But if you only do those, in my opinion, you're only getting warmed up for singing stuff like, hey, what's up? I'm singing in this style, yeah. Like, you're perfectly warmed up for that. But then as soon as you start to put some force behind it, very often, even if you did that kind of warm-up, I find my voice will crack. So if I just did a lot of and then I try to sing a high note like, yeah, I'm often not, like, warmed up for that, you know? So what I want to talk about is, what is the best way to warm up for kind of more belty songs when you find that the more gentle warm-ups aren't doing it? So step one, still do the gentle warm-ups, because if you go straight into the kind of belting warm-ups, it's often like you're not warmed up enough for that. So it might kind of shock your voice a bit and wear it out a little bit more than necessary. So I'd say still do the basic, still do those, but then you move on to step number two. Step number two is what I would say, do belts, but with a lot of breaks in between, okay? Because here's the thing. If you, as a warm-up, let's say that you sing a whole belting song, like you sing a whole Bruno Mars song or something like that, the problem is you're not allowing yourself breaks in between the belting for your voice to kind of, quote, catch its breath. And let me kind of explain why that's important. I like to use the analogy of weightlifting, okay? Warming up for, like, if you're going to lift a really heavy weight. If you have, let's say, a weight that's fairly heavy for you, and you do, and it's not a max, but it's like somewhat heavy for you, and you lift it once and then put it down, that's not going to be that tiring for you, okay? It's good for warming you up, but it's not going to wear out your muscles for the day, like if you just lift it once and put it down, assuming it's not like a 1-rep max, okay? But if you take that same weight and you lift it 10 times, like just consecutively, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 10 times, it's much more tiring for the muscle, okay? Like doing it 10 consecutive times, even if it's the same weight, is much more tiring because, like, it has to do it without breaks continuously, so it's kind of more fatiguing. And with the voice, I think it's a similar thing. What we want to do when we're warming up for belting is we want to get our voice ready to the sensation of belting and kind of get recalibrated for that, but without tiring out our voice, because if we do that, then we'll be too tired to do the performance properly. So what we want to do is we want to, when you belt a high note, I think about that as lifting a heavy weight. You know, you want to make sure you're not straining, but it's kind of more fatiguing for the voice than just saying, hey, hey. It's more fatiguing than that, okay? Unless you're giving a ton of breath. That can be fatiguing for the chords. But like singing lightly in general is less fatiguing than belting. So when you're belting, it's kind of like you're lifting a heavy weight, and you do want to lift that heavy weight to warm up your voice for the belting song, but you want to give yourself breaks in between so that you can do that without tiring yourself out. So what I would suggest, first of all, you can do it with scales. I really like to use the sound buh, so try belting on a scale like this. You see what I'm doing? I'm not going. That's what you should do in stage 1 when you're warming up gently. But then once you're starting your belting warm up, you should try to belt those notes. Now try to keep a low larynx. If you're letting your larynx go too high, that can cause cracking when you're doing that. You can be like, you can kind of accidentally crack because often your larynx can cut off your air supply. So try to drop your jaw a bit and then make kind of a That's how you can drop your larynx. Just get that feeling of You can kind of see it dropping. So like that. And then that's a good belting warm-up because you're projecting on those notes instead of kind of letting it go into your head voice. And then another one is ma ma ma. So instead of the b sound, you can use ma 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 like that. And then also sirens. So on an A vowel, but the point is, you have to give yourself breaks in between. If you do too much in a short period of time, you're starting to fatigue yourself like when you're lifting that weight 10 times, even if it's the same weight. So after, like, do a few seconds of it, do your boop, 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 do that, and then let yourself rest. And then do it again. Boop, 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 rest. Now, I think as part of your warm-up, it's also good to go into the specific song that you're going to be singing and then do one line at a time. Again, giving yourself breaks so you don't fatigue your voice. So as a song to do, let's choose Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, okay? So I want you to do a line and then give yourself some breaks. So here's an example, like, Tommy used to work on the docks. Now, give yourself a break. Because if you sing the whole song, you're fatiguing yourself. I mean, you're going to have to sing the whole song eventually when you're performing, but you want your voice to be fresh. And I think the way that, I'm repeating this over and over, the way that you make sure you're fresh when you're performing is that you expose your voice to what you're going to be doing, but with lots of breaks, so that it's like you're lifting the same heavy weight, but not so many times that you get tired out. That's really what I want to say. So as a review, start with the gentle warm-ups, then do exercises like the boop, 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 but belt them. Then do sirens. And finally, go to the song you're going to be singing. Tommy used to work on the docks. But do a break after every line. Do not do a full song start to finish as a warm-up because that will tire out your voice. I mean, if you have good endurance, you can handle it, but you want to save all of your stamina for the actual performance. That's all I wanted to say. I hope you have a good day. I hope you are able to warm up and have amazing live shows once all the lockdowns are over and everything. Leave this video a like if you want. Leave a comment. Always good to hear from you. That's all I had to say. Have an awesome day. See you.